Hi guys, welcome to my channel, Live and Align. Wanted to talk to you guys today. This is actually part 2. I did a first part about, it was part 12 of my spiritual journey. This is going to be part 12B. Why? Because I completely forgot to talk about the guy, Baruch Spinoza. I am talking right now about my personal journey spiritually, and I basically learned a lot. I was scared at first. Let me stop. I always get ahead of myself. Welcome if it's your first time on my channel. Thank you for coming. As a matter of fact, I don't like the angle at all. There we go. Welcome if it's your first time on my channel. Welcome to my channel. I hope you like, comment, and subscribe if you like the content. If you are returning, thank you so much for your time. And I hope you're enjoying my channel and my videos. And I guess you are because you're still here. All right, guys. So on my part 12 of my spiritual journey, I looked up, I finally got the nerve, because I was scared and not really wanting to before. Finally got the nerve to actually look up the video that was on, it says 10 deadly facts that prove Jesus impossible. So they're saying that there's no way he could have existed. And I told you guys before, I saw that video and I was too scared to look at it. I never looked at it. I never wanted to watch it. And I was just like, no, I'm not doing it. In that video, part 12A, talks about the 10 points that I learned, right? Now, there was a guy I mentioned named Baruch Spinoza. And he's important to know about because he, as a regular person, I think he had like some role in the church. But as a regular person, he actually said, you know what, I'm just going to read through everything and I'm going to see what I find. And he came to the same exact conclusion that the 10 points said. He was like, they don't have any proof. There's nothing, no records, no firsthand account, nothing. As I stated in the first video, Mark was written 40 years after the said crucifixion. And along with that, it was from verbal storytelling. So Mark didn't see anything. Matthew and Luke were written, 90% of Matthew was from Mark. He didn't see it. He used Mark's writings. 40% of Luke's writings were from Mark. And Mark saw nothing. So really, it was Mark who got the verbal pass down of the story of Jesus. None of the Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, none of them ever saw anything. So that whole thought that I always had in my life, and John is even worse because John came after those two. So guys, the reason that I'm mentioning this part is because they said Baruch Spinoza had actually gone through everything and he came to the same conclusion that this video did. There's no proof. There's nothing to substantiate Jesus except story after story after story. Then they're saying he existed. So that's it. But there's no proof. Roman records didn't show it. The 4 people that I talked about in video 1 who kept accurate and very, very large records, just documenting every little thing, especially the stuff amongst the Jews and their uprising and possible issues that they could have had with Christianity. Talks about Christianity, but not about Jesus. So, with that, Baruch Spinoza, after he came to the conclusion, like, hey, it doesn't look like he was a real guy. They tore his life apart. They basically shunned him. They called it like Hernan or something. They basically said he was like a heretic because he was talking against Jesus. And you know, they were using a lot of the Bible and everything to control people. People didn't have access to the internet. They couldn't read. They were relying on the heads of the church for connection to God, right? This man's family turned against him. They cast him out of like society. Like you ever see the Scarlet Letter? He was like worse than that. They gave him such a hard time the rest of his days. He was an outcast simply for telling the truth. Guys, listen to what I'm saying. Question everything. I'm not going to make this video long. Because I forgot to say it in the other video. Baruch Spinoza. Even when I did a hashtag of his name in my first video, it came up. So this is a real person who confronted lies or who basically just saw fact and truth and it did not produce any evidence of Jesus. So guys, I'm still trying to process this and wrap my head around it. I'm still trying to understand. And I'm ultimately just going to continue to research. As I said in the last video, as for me and my house, I used to say we will serve the Lord. As for me and my house, we will continue to research, question everything, and we will continue to ask why and dig and look. My next couple videos are going to be on Epic of Gilgamesh. I heard that basically that was written way before the Bible, and that has like the whole creation story and or the story of Noah. I'm going to look into it. And Zoroastrianism. Don't ask me what it even means. I've heard it a lot of times, but I'm going to look into it. All right, guys, this is going to be a shorter video. Thank you so much for your time. Again, Baruch Spinoza, the gentleman who read through all of the information that was available, from the Gospels to the Roman records to everything that I mentioned in the first video. Okay? And there was no mention of Jesus in any of the stuff. I told you guys this is a wee bit traumatic. It feels like, when people who find out that their parents aren't their parents, that they're adopted or something, it just feels weird. Because I've known about Jesus my whole life. And it's never a time where you didn't talk about Jesus or have Jesus interwoven in your life. When you joked, you talked about Jesus. When you played, when you were serious, when you were swearing to God and on Jesus, it was just a name that was supposed to yield reverence and seriousness, especially when you prayed and you was talking and you needed something. And it's just like it's interwoven in my spirit, interwoven into my life. And I'm just trying to process a lot right now. So yeah, I'll be taking a journey, continuing to take the journey, and I will be looking into more information, Epic of Gilgamesh and Zoroastrianism next. But guys, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you and the time that you've taken with me. And if you have anything that you would like for me to talk about or any information that you can share with me to help me along in my journey, I would greatly appreciate it. Like, comment, and subscribe down below. And thank you. Until later.